I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and
gasoline will soon be $5 a gallon. They could also bring down our country.
Gas prices are going to destroy this country.
I don't understand. What happened to gas prices? 2 weeks ago, gas was $2, and today gas is $4. You guys, did gasoline go to college and come back with a master's degree in pricing? Oh my God! I came to get gas, and the pump is looking at me like a bank loan officer, asking questions like, say, are you ready for these financial decisions? What is going on, yeah? Look at gas prices. What is going on, yeah? How are we going to survive?
So hold on a second. Oil and gas prices are up, right? Because of what's going on in the Middle East. Do you know how long it takes to get oil out of the ground, process it multiple times, depending on what you want out of it, and then shipping it around the world? You know how long that takes? A lot longer than a bomb drops in the Middle East and the next day the gas prices are more money. It costs more. You see what I'm saying? Like the gas that's already in the station or on the way to the station or even in the country at the time was already like bought and acquired before any conflict happened in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this immediate thing. You can imagine then why being an oil monopoly is quite favorable. You can flip the switch just like that, monopolize the price. It's a scam. It's a complete scam. You know that, right? And then what about the billionaire oil tycoon who said that oil is infinite? And then he got piped down on live TV. I don't think they meant to air that. Let me know your thoughts about this whole situation in the comments below and follow for more.
How does an oil blockage halfway around the world in the Middle East affect the price of gas here in Canada so quickly? Like, almost none of the oil that tankers carry through this tiny little waterway that Iran has blocked even comes to Canada. The vast majority goes to Asia. And yet, gas prices here, up and up and up. What is that invisible string that connects the two things?
Iran continues to threaten to strike any ship that travels through the crucial strait.
What this does is drives up the cost of oil and ultimately the price that people pay at the pump.
There are at least dozens of tankers waiting to enter the Strait of Hormuz, and there are literally hundreds of ships inside the Persian Gulf trying to get oil out of that area.
Those ships, they represent bits and pieces of a much larger machine that can move oil from basically any country to any country. So the global oil market is a bit like a swimming pool. Whether oil is pumped into the pool by Canada, the US, or Saudi Arabia, it's all going into the same place, onto the same market. And countries around the world draw from this same place, this same market as well. That's the global supply of oil. But let's say one giant pipe suddenly gets blocked, like oil tankers unable to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. The water level for everybody drops. And that makes the value of that commodity, oil in this case, go.
There's this website that is tracking live how much of our taxpayer dollars is being spent on the war in Iran. It also at the bottom has the casualty number, but it currently is sitting at almost $22 billion in just under 17 days. Do you know how much money that is? That's enough to end homelessness. It's also enough to replace all lead pipes in the US in about 2 years. It's also enough to renovate and expand veterans' medical and associated facilities and still have about $3 billion left over. You could also give every student K through 12 free lunch with room for growth or inflation. You could build roughly 15 to 20 hydrogen hubs across the country. You could also give universal pre-K for 4-year-olds. You could also provide all 800 officers across the entire country body cameras and de-escalation training twice over. It would also allow indigenous people to actually begin catching up on infrastructure. And it would give almost every child K through 12 free dental each year. And instead of doing any of that, we have a president who is threatening media outlets for how they're covering the fact that the U.S. is doing so poorly in this war and how none of our allies are agreeing to join in because our allies also see how stupid, senseless, and wasteful this war is. If you support this administration, and more specifically this war, you are truly among the most illiterate.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast. But here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money. And then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long, and oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
You may not be able to feel it right now, but just know that very soon you will start to see the impact of these prices. 2 weeks ago, I was paying less than $700 for a full tank. And now, 2 weeks later, we're up to nearly 1,000 and even over 1,000 in some places. So you may not feel it now, but just know you will feel it very soon.
Trump's Iran war is making his rich buddies richer, while costing Americans $1 billion a day, and who knows how many lives by the time it's done. For right now, let's just focus on the oil. 3 key facts. Number 1, Trump's making oil more expensive. Trump has managed to break multiple campaign promises at the same time, because in addition to promising not to get us into any more
foreign wars that are endless wars, that are stupid wars,
Trump also promised,
we're going to get your gas prices down. I will cut your energy and electricity prices in half.
So much for that. Gas prices shot up immediately, and energy prices overall are going up. 20% of the world's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz, which, as of filming, is effectively closed. That's bad for American consumers because even though the U.S. is now the world's largest oil producer, the laws of supply and demand mean that when the global supply is reduced, prices go up for everyone. And Trump's vendetta against clean energy has made America more reliant on oil.
We don't allow windmills, and we don't want the solar panels.
Now, Trump doesn't seem to understand much about how the economy works, but there's one idea he sort of grasps, and that is the impact of energy prices on inflation. When energy prices are lower,
everything's coming down. The donuts are going to come down. The food is going to come down, as we say, the groceries.
But when energy prices go up, so does the price of everything else. Your grocery bill is going to be higher because it is more expensive to drive the truck to get your groceries there. It is more expensive for the grocery to keep the lights on. It just makes everything more expensive. So much for
affordability.
Number 2. High gas prices are bad for you, but great for American oil executives. All that extra money coming out of your pocket is going into theirs. Reduced supply from the Middle East means less competition for them, higher prices, and higher profits. Remember when Trump promised oil executives that if they gave $1 billion to his campaign, he'd make it worth their while? I guess that's one campaign promise he's keeping. And all that oil Trump is seizing from Venezuela is suddenly more valuable. Remember, Trump bragged that he would personally control all money from the Venezuelan oil sales. Wonder what he'll spend it on. And you know who else is benefiting from higher oil prices? Putin. Funny how Trump's interests and Putin's always seem to align.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
Number 3. Decades of Middle East wars should have taught us by now that even setting aside the proven and immediate dangers from pollution and the climate crisis, America's dependence on fossil fuels is in itself a threat to national security and a threat to our economy. I'm Alan Piper at apiper13 and Piperama. Follow Courier Newsroom to stay on top of this developing story.
He started this. He's the one who should be paying for it, but it doesn't come out of his pocket, it comes out of our pocket. Surging gas prices are complicating things for the Trump administration that was already dealing with affordability issues. In just the last week, the price of a gallon of regular gas jumped by more than 30 cents. So now the administration is saying this is just short-term pain at the pump for long-term gain with Iran.
We are defanging Iran's abilities to threaten American troops in the areas, its allies, its neighbors, and global energy markets. So yes, you've got to go through short-term pain to solve a long-term problem.
We spoke to drivers passing through this New Jersey gas station to ask them if that pain is worth it.
I don't think it's worth it. Like, we're paying the price of the war.
If we have to suffer through a little bit of gas prices going up, then we have to suffer through it. And it's a small pain to take for the rest of the world.
Well, as a day-to-day working-class man, it definitely has an impact on my family life, not being able to afford as much. I mean, I'm 25 years old, and I can hardly afford to own a house.
No matter how drivers feel, according to Gas Buddy, the national average is expected to rise by another 10 cents in just a week. And in the next couple weeks, it could get up to $4 a gallon.